Hello guys. You are on the channel Alice Reddit Stories. Enjoy watching. Story 1. I, 25F, was left millions of dollars by someone I used to casually date. So, I am still in shock writing this post and I haven't told anyone yet, not even my husband. I think the first thing I need to do is speak with my husband and then decide what we want to do. I am not sure how he will feel about this. I'm going to go on a whole ride here because this is still so unbelievable. 25F was left millions of dollars by an older guy I used to date. Back in 2017 when I was in college, I went to Florida to spend the summer with my uncle. I used to frequent the Las Olas area, and one evening while I was out with some friends who lived in Florida, I met an older gentleman. I was 20 at the time, not a lot of experience with men or anything really. This guy was in his early 60s, but definitely looked 45 max. We started dating and mostly, I would just attend these high-end events with him like galas and yacht parties and travel around the States a lot. At this time, his wife had just passed on a year ago, and during the summer I met his son casually at a dinner party at his place. I would run into his son whenever I was at his place and we had a good relationship. Dating this guy was super refreshing, like a finer kind of life I was never really used to. It was just a fun time, and all throughout this time, we never slept together once. We would kiss and cuddle, but he never initiated sex. It was just great conversation. He told me about all his life experiences and how he made his money. He was into real estate, investing, and the hotel industry. He gave me a lot of advice about money, etc. In the back of my mind, I knew he had money OFC, but I didn't realize he had this much money. Anyway, I was in college for nursing. I am now an NCVICU nurse, and at the end of the summer I had to go back to the north for school. A few days before I left, he actually sat me down and asked me if I really wanted to finish school. He basically was asking me to quit school and move to Florida with him and just kind of be his trophy girl. Which honestly is what I was during the summer. I thought about it, and even though it seemed easy, I honestly didn't know a whole lot about this man, and I never saw myself as that person. I wanted the career and the degree and to make my own money. I never ever asked him for money or for anything at all. I just genuinely enjoyed his company. I wanted to continue to date him, however, but he said he couldn't do the long distance, and if we were going to date he would want me to live with him. For me, it was just all too soon. And the huge age gap, I wasn't sure this was something I wanted long term. We ended up going our separate ways, but we still kept in touch. Checked in on each other every couple of months. Just hi and bye. I eventually got married. I of course told my husband about that relationship because it did mean a lot to me and I did care about him. The last time I spoke to him was about 3 months ago. Well, the executor of his estate contacted me a few days ago. A few hours later his son also called me and we talked for a long time about him and how he passed. Honestly, at first I didn't believe that it was real, but after talking with his son. Wow. His son told me this guy talked about me so much and that he told him I pulled him out of depression and sadness after his mom died. His son told me I meant a lot to him because the time I came into his life was a really rough time and I made it better. I feel so many emotions because I never knew our relationship meant so much to him. I am very grateful he thought of me, and I am still not sure if I should accept this money. I am a nurse, and while nurses don't make millions, I make good money to live a comfortable life. My husband also has a great job as well. I will be talking with my husband about it soon. I don't really know a lot about money, but yeah. I'm still in shock. I never thought I would ever have this amount of money my entire life. TLDR, I got left millions of dollars by someone I used to casually date. I am now married. Story 2. My girlfriend of 3 years has cheated on me. What do I do? Me, F27, her, F29, We used to live together for a few months, but I pushed her away in June to protect myself and her as I was mental struggling. She took that as we split and we didn't. Anyway, we worked it out, and she wanted her own place close to her new job as she didn't want anything to happen again between us. She moved about 40 minutes away. Anyway, a few weeks ago her behavior started to change when she was on nights out with a certain new friend. I like her to text me when she's home safe, as she can get in some states. We do have each other's location, but it's not always accurate. She gets that drunk this female friend invites her back each time, despite my GF living 2 minutes round the corner. My GF doesn't text me she's home/at her friend's, so I'm wondering whose house she's in. The next day she apologizes, says she fell asleep on the sofa and nothing happened. She doesn't want anyone else, she only has me, etc. She is always online, but likes ignoring me. I probably should have left it as that, but I told her she was unprofessional coming home that late in the early hours when she has work at 8 a.m. and her profession working in a hospital is not good still being drunk. She didn't like this, but again apologized. We hardly spoke and I felt like we had drifted apart. I had a gut feeling something was going on. Then it came to the next weekend. We were meant to go her mate's 30th together, but she found an excuse for me not to go, saying she doesn't want it to be affected. I'm not that type of person, and says she's staying at her mate's, etc. So I get upset at this point and how she's being distant, how sex seems like a chore, and now she's not letting me come out when I've been out with this group of friends loads. She refused to come and see me that Saturday and asked for space, so I gave it to her. The Sunday after she agreed to come and talk, obviously it was upsetting. She swore down on her family there was no one else, she wasn't cheating, and she loves me, wants a future with me, but her feelings aren't 100% there anymore. However, she says let's work on it, but I have to trust her, so I said okay, and we said I love you, etc. She got up and left for work. It came to Thursday, just gone. She was meant to meet her best mate for a coffee. However, my GF turned her location off once she had already left the house. Which was strange, but I left it to her. That night she was staying in mine after she finished work at midnight. I put rose petals on the floor with candles, brought her favorite bottle of wine and a bunch of roses. We had loads of cuddles, and she woke up saying she feels a lot closer to me. We go and have brunch, talk about our future, having kids, and moving back in together. I traveled back to hers in Chester to help her get ready for a meal with work. I went on her photos to get the Wi-Fi and came across a photo of a girl in bed. I questioned her and she said, "Oh, it's Elle." I put her phone on her bedside table before I left and took a photo for the group. I didn't believe it, as you could clearly tell my GF was lying down. Anyway, I end up staying at my GF's. I walked her to her meal, and on the way I said we need to give more dates/double dates. We spoke about marriage and who'd be the drunkest between us. Throughout the night she'd message a bit, but also ignore a couple of messages and still be online. Anyway, she texted around 4 a.m. saying she'd be home soon. Pretty much all pubs shut at midnight and the last club shuts at 4 a.m. She strolls in after 5 a.m. Chester is not big. She said she had dropped her friend Elle off. We woke up in the afternoon and got close. We ended up having an amazing sex for the first time in weeks. I said going forward, and now you're back on normal shifts, I'll start coming up more through the week and we'll spend more time together. She said she'd love that and said I love you, then complimented how beautiful I am. Her family had put a photo in their WhatsApp group and it made me laugh. My GF went downstairs to me us a cuppa and bacon on toast. She came upstairs and I asked to see the photo again. When she opened WhatsApp there was just a number that was muted. I asked her who's that. Her reply, someone from work, but she's annoying. The message said, "You know me well." I said that's not someone from work, you're cheating on me. She denied this and hesitantly opened the message, and I saw that they had arranged a date for yesterday. After questioning her again, she came out with she has been cheating on me and she had downloaded a dating site, but she doesn't know why and she's stupid. She had been messaging this girl the night before on her work's night out, arranging a date knowing full well that I was in bed waiting for my GF to come home. She went to hug me, but I didn't want her by me. I got dressed and left. To this point, she chased me up the street. I was heartbroken, and she cried, saying she doesn't want anyone else. She deleted the app straight away, and she doesn't see anything with this girl. I asked if she was actually with her best friend last Thursday. She kept saying yes, but I knew she wasn't telling the truth. I kept pushing. Turns out she used her best friend as an alibi and was actually on a date with this girl from the dating site. I went back and looked through her phone as she gave me permission. AMD was sat there. Turns out she had asked 2 people from her work on a date. One of which was straight, and the night her behavior changed. Turns out she had some guy's D***ck in her hand, but didn't like it, so didn't do anything and got into her friend's bed and woke up spooning her. This is the second time she's been in the bed. She kept denying things even though I could see it on her texts. Her excuse was she wasn't telling the full truth as she didn't want to hurt me more. I said, "You're hurting me more by not telling me everything, and you should have said you'd shared a bed with Elle." To her response, "You would have shouted." I wouldn't have. She was that drunk, apparently didn't remember having the D in her hand, even though she texted Elle the next day about it, so that was another lie. She had been sending her mum screenshots of our chats. Her mum's response: "I twist everything. She knew it would come to a natural end soon. I am clinging on and I want what I can't have." My GF is telling her mum she is emotionless, is stuck, and her feelings aren't totally there. And she hoped when she lived with me it would progress, and she can't see herself moving out of Chester. No wonder her feelings weren't 100% there, and clearly she's not told her mum everything. She texted how truly sorry she was and that I don't deserve it. I asked her to come after work or Sunday to talk about it, and she said she doesn't think it was the right thing. There was no fight from. She's saying how she doesn't want me to go 1 minute and then the next is behaving like that and not chasing after me. She said she wasn't going on the date yesterday, but guess what? At the time they said they'd meet up, her location went off. We are still in a relationship, we have not split up yet. I want to give her another chance and for her to put everything on the table. She's my perfect woman and I couldn't think of anyone more amazing to start a family with. However, my friends and sister are telling me to walk away. She has not kissed anyone or slept with anyone. She has only shared a bed with this friend. She finally came to see me and said she hates the person she's become since moving there and has been on self-destruct. She knows she needs to change, work on herself, and to back away from Elle as she is a bad influence. She's gone to her parents and is putting everything out there. She is going to focus on herself, get herself some help, and wants to be back to the person she once was. She said she has hope that we will get back together once she's completely worked on herself and changed her lifestyle and friends. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. There are many interesting stories ahead of you.